In patriarchal culture, gender discrimination experienced by women is not only caused by gender, but also due to social class or social segregation. It can be seen that there are still many intersectional systems that can affect gender discrimination experienced by women, such as the intersection of gender and class. Social class itself can be determined by occupation, education, status, wealth, and property, so that women who are less wealthy, status, education, and so on are more discriminated against by upper class men. According to Theo and Tyler, gender discrimination is danger for all women, but for women who are economically oppressed, it can be even more dangerous. There are 9 short stories from the Boston. Of the 9th story, Bob Darling is a short story that clearly describes issues of gender and class. In the story, Bob is depicted as a rich man, while Carla is a poor girl. As a woman from a lower class, Carla is sometimes underestimated by Bob, who is upper classman. Bob wants Carla to do everything he wants, even if Carla doesn't want to. It is clear that the discrimination that Carla experienced caused by gender, which places women as subordinate and oppressed beings. Based on the short story, it is revealed the social class in society also holds power over gender.
Both discussions show the gender and class relationships or intersectionality that are reflected in the story.
Bob Darling is a short story about the relationship between Bob and Carla. The story begins when Bob and Carla are on the train. They want to go to Paris for a tour. Using flashback, the narrator explains how they meet. Bob is a middle-aged man who is sick and treated with death. But realizing his short age, he still wants to love and be loved. However, Carla, as a woman, something experienced gender discrimination from Bob, shock as violence, separation, and others. However, the discrimination was caused by Carla's social class. This study poses a major question: how is the relationship between gender and social class in the patriarchal culture described in Bob Darling? 1. Gender discrimination and story gender discrimination is different treatment based on. Victims of gender discrimination are general from women. Gender discrimination is driven by gender difference in which women as irrational, emotional, weak, and motherly individuals are positioned in the domestic sphere, while men are strong, brave, and rational. Gender is a characteristic that is inequal between women and men, that is socially and culturally caused, or that being male or female is governed by cultural assumptions and include the relationship between men and women, especially their role, behavior, and characteristics in society. Gender discrimination can manifest into stereotypes, subversion, marginalization, violence against women, and workload. However, in the story, only 3 manifestations of gender discrimination are found.
In Bob Darling's story, Carla is the main character beside experiencing gender discrimination in subordination. Carla also experienced gender discrimination in violence. Violence against women is the third point of gender discrimination experienced by Carla as the main female character in the story. 2. Gender and class relations as described in Bob Darling. Woman's life is not only influenced by gender. However, difference in race, ethnicity, class, and sexuality can shape woman's life. Especially in experience discrimination, this combination of sex, race, ethnicity, and class in discrimination against women is commonly called intersectionality. Intersectionality is a concept that has been around for more than 30 years. From the short story explanation above, Carla as the main character of women who live in the patriarchal culture, experience gender discrimination that manifests in stereotypes, subordination, and violence against women such as physical violence, intimidation, and isolation. The relation between gender and social class in gender discrimination can also be seen in his short story. Carla's sexual harassment, violence, and subordination happened because of her gender and social class. Carla's strength was reduced because she was a girl. Apart from that, she is also a low-class woman. It reinforces the gender discrimination it creates, a patriarchal culture that is closely attached to women in lower class positions, so that women experience more discrimination.
As a woman who lives in patriarchal culture, Carla, as the main female character in Bob Darling, is experiencing gender discrimination. It's an unfair treatment of women, especially based on one's gender towards roles. The different role, however, leads to the harm and can be loss of person's right in life, especially for women who live in patriarchal culture. Furthermore, there is a class difference between male and female that has given women a stronger stance of discrimination. Gender and social class come together in the intersection way for discriminating them. Then social classes can also divide a person's position in the life of people, such as based on wealth, education, that has a role in gender discrimination. It can then deviate with gender. Therefore, deviation of gender and social classes make the culture of patriarchy in women's life more restrictive. When women's social class is lower than men, she experience more discrimination. Thus, in the patriarchy, the discrimination that has happened to the woman is influenced not only by her gender but also her social class.